A furnace that keeps cutting on and off looks like a machine in the middle of dying. It fires up, you feel a little heat, and then it quits. A minute or two later, it tries again, quits again, and the house never really gets warm. It feels like the thing is falling apart right in front of you. It almost never actually is. What surprised me reading through the technician write-ups on this is how rarely that on-off pattern means the furnace itself is broken. Most of the time, it is a safety system shutting the burners down on purpose, doing exactly what it was built to do, and the furnace is handing you one simple thing to check. That pattern even has a name in the trade. It is called short cycling, and it just means the furnace starts a heating cycle and shuts down before it finishes the job. A healthy furnace runs 3 to 8 times an hour, and each burn lasts somewhere between 7 and 20 minutes. So before you panic, know that cycling on and off by itself is normal. It is only a problem when the burns are short and constant. The house stays cold and it will not stop. Here is the part that turns this from a mystery into something you can actually solve. You do not need to know a single furnace part to start. You need to time it. Stand at the furnace, wait for the burners to light, and count how long they stay lit before they shut off. You are listening for one thing, whether it dies in seconds or runs for minutes. That one number is a readout and it points straight at the cause. A furnace that dies in seconds has a completely different problem than one that runs for several minutes and then quits, and both are different from one that just clicks on and off at random. So get your number first, then match it to the right cause. Start with the fast one. If the burner's light, you see flame, and the whole thing drops dead within about 5 to 10 seconds. Then tries again, dies again, and after a few tries, stops trying entirely. You are almost certainly looking at the flame sensor. This is the most common reason a furnace dies within seconds, and it is also the one most likely to be a cheap afternoon fix. The flame sensor is a thin metal rod that sits right in the burner flame. When flame touches it, it makes a tiny electrical current, and that current is how the furnace proves to itself that a fire is actually burning. If the rod gets coated in carbon or corrosion, that signal stops getting through. The furnace looks for proof of flame, does not find it within a second or two, and shuts the gas off, because a burner running with no confirmed flame is exactly what it is supposed to prevent. Picture the classic version of this. A furnace fires, glows for about 7 seconds, and shuts off. 7 seconds again on the next try, 7 seconds once more on the third attempt, and then silence, because it locked itself out. That repeating short count is the fingerprint of a dirty sensor, not a dying furnace. The fix is genuinely simple. Kill the power and the gas to the furnace, pull the sensor out, which is usually a single screw, and clean the rod gently with fine sandpaper, steel wool, or a folded dollar bill. Wipe it, put it back, and there is a real chance the whole problem is gone. A new sensor runs $10 to $30 if cleaning does not hold. People replace entire furnaces over a $15 part they could have wiped clean in 20 minutes, and that is the part of this that should make you slow down before you call anyone. Now for the slower pattern, the one that runs a while before it gives up. If the burners light and run fine for several minutes, the furnace gets good and warm, and then the burners cut out while the blower keeps roaring, you are dealing with overheating. The furnace climbed past a safe temperature, and a part called the high limit switch shut the burners off to protect the heat exchanger, leaving the fan running to cool the metal down. Then it cools, fires again, overheats again, and you get that endless heat then quit loop. The key thing to understand is that the limit switch is the smoke alarm, not the fire. It is not the broken part, it is the part telling you something else is wrong, and what is wrong is almost always airflow. The number one cause of an overheating furnace is a dirty air filter. When the filter is choked with dust, the blower cannot pull enough air across the heat exchanger, the heat has nowhere to go, and the furnace cooks itself until the limit trips. So pull your filter and look at it. If it is gray and matted, replace it. Then walk the house and open any supply registers you have closed and clear anything sitting on top of a return vent. Give the furnace half an hour to cool and try it again. Filters run $10 to $30, and this single check solves a huge share of these cases. If the filter is clean, the vents are open, and it still overheats, then the blower wheel may be dirty or the limit switch itself may finally be worn out, and that is where a pro comes in. A replacement limit switch runs about $100 to $375 installed. There is a third pattern that only shows up on newer high-efficiency furnaces, the kind with white plastic pipes running out the side of the house instead of a metal flue. If that is what you have and the furnace whirs to life, you hear the inducer fan spin up and then it shuts down without ever really lighting, often blinking an error code at you. The problem is usually water. These furnaces make condensation as they run, and that water is supposed to drain away. When the condensate drain line or its little trap clogs, water backs up where it does not belong and trips a part called the pressure switch, which then refuses to let the furnace fire. A blocked vent pipe outside does the same thing. So go look at those plastic pipe ends for a bird nest, a wad of leaves, snow, or ice. Clearing the condensate line with a wet-dry vacuum is a doable home job. If the blockage is buried deeper in the venting or the switch itself failed, that is a service call, usually $100 to $300 for the pressure switch. The last pattern is the one with no clean timing at all. If the furnace just clicks on and off several times an hour with no steady burn, and the burners themselves seem to behave when they run, look at the thermostat before anything inside the furnace. The most overlooked cause on this whole list is dead thermostat batteries, so change them first. After that, check where the thermostat lives. If it is mounted near a supply vent, a sunny window, or a lamp, it reads a false warm spike, decides the room is heated, and shuts the furnace down early, over and over. Move it or shield it from that heat source, and the cycling can stop cold. A flaky thermostat is a $20 to $250 replacement depending on how fancy you go, and dead batteries cost about $3. One cause in that last group is different, and I want to be honest about it. If your furnace has short-cycled since the day it was installed, never once held a long, steady burn, and your heating bills are high, the furnace may simply be too big for your house. An oversized furnace blasts the rooms to temperature in a few minutes, satisfies the thermostat, shuts off, and repeats all day long. There is no cheap fix for that one. It means a correctly sized replacement. But it is rare, and you would have noticed it from the very first winter, so do not jump there before you have ruled out the filter, the sensor, and the thermostat. Before you close this out, one safety line I will not let you skip. If the furnace is short cycling and you also smell gas, see flames licking out of the burner compartment, find soot around it, or keep having to push a little reset button near the burners called the flame rollout switch, stop troubleshooting right there. That points at bad combustion or a cracked heat exchanger, which can put carbon monoxide into your home, and it earns a real inspection. And never, under any circumstances, jam something under a limit switch or rollout switch to force the furnace to keep running through it. Those switches are the only thing standing between a furnace in trouble and a fire, so look at where the timing leaves you. A furnace cutting on and off is loud and alarming, but it is usually the furnace protecting itself rather than breaking down. Dies in seconds, look at the flame sensor, runs for minutes and then quits with the fan still blowing, chase the airflow and start with the filter. Spins up but never lights on a high efficiency unit. Check the condensate drain in the vent pipes. Clicks on and off at random, start with the thermostat and its batteries. The expensive failures are real, but they sit at the bottom of that list, not the top, and odds are good the thing you needed was a clean rod, a fresh filter, or $3 of batteries. Whatever you need to handle it, a flame sensor, a filter, a thermostat is linked for you down in the description.